The final word.
The final word.
The final
Let
word.
them wait.
We live.
Oh, we are. Oh,
We back though. We back.
But let me tell you about this dude. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, man.
The final
Big
word.
day.
Big
53.
day.
53. So, Tuck, I know you said you had to get some stuff off your chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got to talk about Sir Lance a lot. You know what I'm saying? Trey Lance in Dallas, man. I think the Cowboys nation is being kind of miseducated on this situation. So, I was trying to clarify on Twitter, but it wasn't working, man. Them characters wasn't working. I called Audible. We had my final word, brothers, man. And we had to link up tonight like Voltron and talk about it. So we're going to talk about it here in a second.
Yeah. So that's why I named it The Real Deal on Trey Lance. You know?
Yeah.
So
The final word.
and this is gonna be a good show because obviously Law, his brother died hard San Fran. So and then I just had Jesse on. So you know, I think I got a good feel of it too. So this gonna be a good discussion, man. I can't wait to have it. I can't
The
wait
final
to have it.
word.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
Hopefully we get
The
big
final
back
word.
because I want to hear his thoughts on
The
Trey
final
Lance too.
word.
The final word.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So but while we waiting on the intro, and we got about 2 minutes, I guess what's been
The
going
final
on,
word.
like what you've been hearing, what you've been seeing, like what kind of caused the emergency? I want to get the background.
I think a lot of people don't understand what's being done in Dallas as far as the chess pieces and the foundation being laid with this trade for Trey Lance. I think a lot of people are thinking that this was just something about the quarterback 3 position, just an upgrade. That's 1,000% false, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But there's a lot more into it that I think a lot of people believe. And I think what's happening that frustrating from my standpoint is that a lot of people are already counting this kid out just because they're on the defense, right? I'm seeing people say he's garbage, he's trash, he can't do this, he can't do that. So that is why I had to roll up the sleeves and drop the film session. You know, it's not going to be that. You know, Cowboys have this weird thing where we like to, you know, slander our own players. And what we got to understand that Trey Lance is now he's a Dallas Cowboy, and we're going to get behind him, you know, and we'll kind of let everything kind of fall and see where the chips lay. But we're not going to slander this kid and act like he's purely garbage or a bust just because we're trying to protect others. So we'll talk about that here in a second.
Word.
The final word.
Good intro.
Final word.
The final word.
I can't wait.
The final word.
The final word.
The final
wait.
word.
The final
And then obviously
word.
we got some 53 stuff we gonna talk about.
Right.
Just a big day, big day.
Tuesday.
And shout out to Law Nation, man. My boy had a fire marathon show today, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
It's like I ain't even got to do no
The
show. I
final
just
word.
go back and listen to that show. You
Much long.
got everything you need. You got everything you need.
Right.
Nah, good job on that, bro. Real talk. Good job on that.
The final word.
Okay, man. One thing I love, man.
The final word.
Maybe I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Half a ticket to a meal. Lately I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check or something. Lately I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black. That's all for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Go. All right, man. So who we go? All right. So Trey Lance had an interview today with .com. I guess let's go through it real quick.
Very excited to be here. First and foremost, just excited to continue to get to know the guys, and obviously, for me, it's just learning, taking it one day at a time. Not really trying to look too far forward or anything like that, but really right now, just trying to be a sponge and learn and enjoy every day.
Clarence Hill, 4-Star Telegram. What's it been like the last couple of days, and when did you get in, and what have you done with the coaches?
Got in a few days ago. Definitely been, a little bit of a whirlwind, but it's been awesome. Finally, now these last couple of days, getting to know the guys, guys being in the building. I know it's been, a tough couple days these last 2 days with everything that goes on, in this league. But yeah, just for me, it's been trying to learn as much as I possibly can, trying to spend as much time with our coaching staff as I possibly can, and obviously learning from Dak and Coop as much as I can.
You brought up Dak. Can you just talk about the welcome you got from Dak and what you can learn from Dak?
Yeah, I mean, he welcomed me with open arms. This morning was the first time I ran into him. But yeah, I mean, that meant a lot to me. I know it's this business is crazy. But for me, like I said, I'm not looking forward at all. I'm just really trying to take it one day at a time, and these guys obviously played at a very high level for a very long time. So nothing but, obviously just tons and tons of respect for him, as I think he deserves and gets from across the league. So for me, just trying to learn everything I possibly can from him.
Trey, welcome again. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. What do you feel are some of the strongest attributes that you bring to the quarterback room for the Cowboys?
For me, I mean, like I said, just one day at a time. So first and foremost, I got to learn to have an opportunity to do anything to help anyone in that room or anyone on our offense. So for me, like I said, that's really what I'm focused on. It's just learning enough to be able to contribute.
Trey Sagias at The Athletic. Just, do you feel a sense of kind of pressure coming off your shoulder a little bit after the trade and, getting kind of a fresh start, change of scenery and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, definitely looking forward to being here. Like I said, I was just very excited to be here, very excited to continue to get to know the guys, the coaching staff, and yeah, this fresh start definitely, it feels great. I'm excited to be here.
So obviously he gonna give you a bunch of canned answers, as he should, and that's what I heard that was gonna pretty much happen with him, because I just, like I said before, I just had Jesse on, all right, from Last Second Sports, who is new media for the San Francisco Niners. So I guess let's go around and just kind of give our opinions on this whole thing with him entering in. And then Tuck, we gonna start with you, because I know you said that you had some concerns on some things that's happening in the fan base and kind of some of the slander, for lack of better words.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of like take this walk with me, Cowboys Nation. So first off, I want to say y'all know I love Dak Prescott. He's on my screensaver right now. I got him on my wall, plastered my wall. I've been a Dak defender, but I feel like what's happening right now is that we get so much trolling, right? We get so many lazy narratives when it comes to Dak Prescott that some Cowboys fans, they overprotect. And they overprotect so much, they can't see the reality that's in front of them. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about Trey Lance. Now, we know that we gave up a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance. Now, granted, we ain't give up a 4th-round pick for Stephon Gilmore or Brandon Cooks or Jonathan. Like, we proactively went and got this kid, right? Now, why did we do it? And this was the conversation I was having on Twitter. There is a portion of the fan base that thinks this move had nothing to do with Dak Prescott, had nothing to do with negotiations. It was just purely about upgrading our quarterback 3 position, upgrading over Will Grier, which Mike McCarthy said he wants to bring Will Grier back, right? So a lot of people just want to kind of put this in this little box, like this is what this meant. But what I'm trying to tell Cowboys Nation is that's not the case, because if you just think rationally, right? If you wanted to get a project quarterback, wouldn't you consult the person who's actually going to be building the project and Mike McCarthy? Jerry Jones says Mike McCarthy wasn't even consulted, right? So I understand it's hard, y'all. It's hard because we love Dak, but nothing is forever. Things constantly change. We saw what happened in New England. Tom Brady went to Tampa. Like, the list goes on and on. You go to Joe Montana to Steve Young. The list goes on and on. There is always going to be a competition. So what I'm seeing online that was getting me frustrated is that they act like this kid is fully incompetent at being able to play football at the NFL level. Everyone was telling me he's trash, he's garbage, he's this, he's that, he's, he can't play at the NFL level. And what I'm trying to explain to Cowboys Nation, pump the brakes. That narrative is lazy and completely false. This kid has all the skill set. He just hasn't been yet given the opportunity. So Trey Lance right now, he's a Dallas Cowboy player. Root for him, and whatever happens is going to happen. But you have to ask yourself as a fan, are you about the player or are you about the team? And so it's going to be some tough conversations. I don't think it's going to be this year where we really need to focus on it, but I guarantee you this offseason, it's going to be loud, and we're definitely going to be talking about it when we're all out there at Oxnard watching camp in preseason.
Well, me and Boss Cowboy did a show about this, and I still believe and feel the exact same way as I did when we did the show. First of all, on the bus narrative, I spoke about that. When you talk about a bus, you have time and opportunity. So Trey Lance hasn't had enough time or the opportunities to be able to say he's a bust or he's incompetent or anything like that. This is definitely an if and then situation. And so as an owner, you got to do what owners do sometimes and hedge your bets. I said he was brought here to ultimately be the number 2 quarterback this year. With the cutting of Will Greer, it looks like they're going to give him some run to get caught up to speed. Now, obviously, Cooper Rush will be the number 2 quarterback right now, but in the foreseeable future, he's probably the number 2 quarterback. Also, if there is a stalemate or there's not a pleasant surprise in terms of the play calling and efficiency of Mike McCarthy, then you give yourself an out by having a guy that is a top 10 talented quarterback in terms of rating, top 10 draft pick coming out last year. And the kid has speed. He has arm strength. He just needs coaching. And the reality of it is this, is that Mike McCarthy is pretty efficient at getting the most out of his quarterbacks, and he did that in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers being a huge part of his career. So this is interesting. And this is something that, it is a tell that it was a business decision to move for the Cowboys. And basically, we'll see where it goes from here.
No doubt. 2 things can be true. And I think that the Cowboys are approaching this, whereas they looking for a 2-for-1. If Trey Lance advanced the way he's supposed to be, that would make the Dak Prescott next salary cap or next payment more voidable, meaning that they don't have to go into that. But I would look at this thing just like any other thing. The Jones family, they didn't want to wait on this because rich folks don't wait. When they see something they want, they go out there and grab it. And they don't have to consult to anyone or anybody about that, because he knew for sure that not just Trey Lance was out there for the Cowboys, but also the Bills were at play. The Lions, I heard, was at play. And the Jones family didn't want that to slip through them, with the possibility of getting someone that was drafted in the first round, right? And they had a second round grade on him. And the most thing that they can get rid of is a 4th round draft pick. So let's do that. That's a good slam dunk for the Cowboys and a slam dunk for the Jones family. If it works out, they got high upside. If it don't, then all they lost was a 4th round draft pick, which one can argue that, they utilize those picks just like this. They snap it and then they fool around and get players that can start at that spot. So I do look at Trey Lance as a guy that's going to be a developmental person, but not going to be a person that gives Dak Prescott any sweat or heat, because of his limited time of playing in the National Football League. It's not enough on the resume to make Dak Prescott sweat.
Not at all. But I will say this. I actually went back and watched Trey this year in that alleged quarterback competition. So first, I want to say that I jumped the gun. I want to say that because when you see him traded for a fourth, a lot of people made the assumption, including myself, that he was beat out by Sam.
Nope.
Not from what I'm seeing. Not from me watching the preseason games. Trey Lance looks very capable, y'all. He looks like a very much starting quarterback in the NFL. Easily, too. Easily. So it's narratives out there that don't match the film, like Tuck is saying. Like him being washed, I'm gonna be honest, no. That opinion
Hey, bro,
is,
come on now, dog.
that opinion is, bro, no.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is a starting quarterback. And Trey Lance is a franchise quarterback. He's a way better value than Geno. Way better value than Geno. And this is matching what the Dallas Cowboys have been doing. They have been aggressively targeting former first. He not the first one. He not gonna be the last. We picked up another one today in a trade as well. Noah, another former first. So a lot of people, to Tuck point, might be trying to protect Dak, but this is the reality of how the Dallas Cowboys are building their roster and competition. It's just what it is. And it's a good job, in my opinion, from Trey Lance and Noah. Let me tell y'all something, because I'm gonna be all the way honest. Sometimes you forget stuff. Keeping it real. Sometimes you straight up forget stuff. Check this out. This is real. I forgot that I had Noah in the Boss Cowboy Guide. I had him ranked 3.
Wow.
Yeah. I had him ranked 3rd in the Boss Cowboy Guide, you know, and I had a whole write-up on him, you know. So when people asking what's the difference between even Noah and Kelvin, put it like this. Kelvin, I had him ranked 7th. You know?
Wow.
7th. Like, this is my actual ranks. So this is historic. So, like, I know some people, to Tuck point, that's butthurt over Kelvin. The Cowboys, I'm telling y'all, it looked like they just aggressively roster building, man. Just keeping it real, and they target.
This is a smart move, by the way.
It's a smart move.
Right.
Both
Put it like this. You talked to
Both
Jesse. You talked to Jesse just the other day, right? And he said that Trey Lance, he probably said Trey Lance had the best arm in camp.
Yeah.
I've heard people literally
too.
say he had the best arm.
arm.
His arm is better than Sam Darnold, better than Brock Purdy. And guess what? And I'm not throwing any shades at our guys over here. He by far got the strongest arm on his team right now.
Somebody said, don't do that, boss. That's nothing to suggest he's a franchise quarterback. First of all, I'm watching the film, bro. Now, make sure you've actually went and watched him before you make these opinions. Because I've already admitted that I jumped the gun and figured he was beat out. I just said, oh, they wouldn't have traded him unless Sam Darnold was better. I'm looking at it now. Wasn't the case.
Right. And like my brother said, there was no competition. You know, there was no actual competition. And I hate to bring this up, y'all, but I'm gonna have to just touch on it and jump off of it. There was a lot of people with the higher ups thought that it was politically invoked too, because they just got out of the doghouse with Colin Kaepernick. Think about that. Everything is rich out there in the Bay Area. It's a lot of money, a lot of sponsorship stuff. And they was like, if we can find an alleyway to get out of it while we can, let's just get on up out of it. Not saying that Trey is taking the angles of what Colin Kaepernick did, but they were just ready to just move on from it. And Sam Darnold was getting paid $4.5 million, and they would have rather lean on that juxtaposed to allowing this rookie contract to go all the way through, and all of that money is guaranteed. So what they did was they said they washed their hands with it. Hey, you want a fourth? Oh, hey, we'll get rid of him for that. But either he would have been here or he would have been in Buffalo.
Right. And what people have to remember, if you go back to that draft, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, he didn't want Trey Lance. He was opposed against it. He wanted Mac Jones or Justin Fields. The front office wanted Trey Lance. Like, they was very adamant about getting Trey Lance. So what happened, right? You had Jimmy G still in house. You kind of shelved him. Trey Lance got a few games versus, I think the Cardinals and, Houston. It was kind of sparingly, right? But Jimmy G was the guy, and you were going to groom Trey Lance under Jimmy G. Okay, boom. What happens last year? Trey Lance is the starter. Trey Lance is the starter in San Francisco. He gets hurt game one with the injury, and that's what happens. He goes down, Jimmy G goes down, and then you have Brock Purdy who steps in and takes the 49ers all the way to an NFC championship game. And a lot of people believe that if he was still playing that game, they would have went to the Super Bowl. So there's no competition. And I try to explain to Cowboys fans, think about this. Dak Prescott goes down in 2020, and then all of a sudden Andy Dalton gets us to an NFC championship game or possible a Super Bowl. You're not competing the next year with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is the guy. The Cowboys might not even re-sign Dak Prescott. So for Trey, you had a coach who didn't even want you. You're a project. He didn't even want you in the first place, right? And then you got the 7th round guy who already caused mania and went to an NFC championship game. They're thinking they're good. So for Trey, he really had no sponsor in-house and didn't get the opportunity. But what we're not going to do, and I won't allow it, y'all, for y'all to sit and act like this kid cannot play football. I mean, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, ran for 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, won a national championship at North Dakota State. Like, he is the real deal. He's extremely talented. Why do you think that the 49ers jumped up so far? They passed. Y'all remember how talented that draft class was. That was Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Micah Parsons. The list goes on and on, that draft class. They zoomed past all of that for Trey, because when you watch the film, you think about what can this kid not do, and it's not really there. I mean, I think the thing is he just needs the reps. He just needs the progressing. Just like any other quarterback, Anthony Richardson right now, extremely talented. He's going to need the reps. It's the same thing for Trey Lance. So, I get it, Cowboys Nation. You're kind of uncomfortable with this situation, and it's something that the Joneses kind of put us in. But here's what I'll ask y'all, and I'll let y'all answer. Do y'all think that we spent a 4th round pick on Trey Lance if 2 weeks ago Dak Prescott signed a 5-year extension? I highly doubt it. But what's going on is that the Cowboys are probably talking to Todd France, trying to get this extension done so they can free up money to sign CeeDee Lamb and Terrence Hill and and it's not going the way they planned. They hung up the phone and said, bet, I got a trick for y'all. I got a trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just part of the business. You have to understand it. They played games with Zach Martin and really didn't cave until Zach Martin was team friendly. Trayvon Diggs was team friendly. If Todd France and Dak Prescott don't want to be team friendly, I just don't see a situation where the Cowboys are going to cave this time, y'all, to be honest with you, because now they have an insurance policy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that, the Cowboys go cave one way or the other. Because I don't feel as though Dak Prescott is going to play poorly this year. We talked about this before, too, when me and Boss Cowboy did the original show about this, is that, hey, man, when Romo was still lurking in the background, what did Dak Prescott do? He went out there and he went berserk. He played bananas. Right. And I think that this is the year when he comes back and he's going to play absolute bananas, not just because of Trey Lance, but also because of his legacy and because of this contract is on the line. So the Cowboys go have an option. If Dak throws 35 plus touchdowns, 4,000 yards, anything in that neighborhood, they're going to have to pay Dak Prescott market. And market is going to be above the latest and greatest contract that just got signed. If the Cowboys don't want to do that, well, they're going to have to rock with a new quarterback or draft another one. And then Dak Prescott is going to go off and he's going to get paid by another team. But either way, in this situation, Dak Prescott, in my opinion, will get paid. I just think it's a matter of when and with who.
It's going to be with Dallas.
Yeah.
It's going to be because, see, really, Dak got them by the balls. He got them by the balls with the no trade clause, He got them. And, the fact that they 60 million in the hole next year, the time is ticking on them, not Dak. Shit, Dak sitting back like, all right, man, play with me if you want to. Trey Lance is cute, but that time is ticking on y'all, not me.
And Boss Cowboy.
case. I don't think that's the case, though.
Talk to me.
Talk to us.
And the reason why is, I mean, granted, you saw what happened in Green Bay, but let's say, for instance, right, OC is right? Dak goes crazy, throws for 4,000 yards, but we get to the wild card game and we lose to Minnesota in the first round. Y'all think that the Cowboys gonna be like, okay, we need to give Dak top dollar?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all still do?
Yep.
Yeah. Because if
it's in the nature. Not Jay Tuck. It's in the nature on how they lose too. You know, is it a final field goal kick? You know what I'm saying? If Dak Prescott have a game like he had with the LA Rams a couple of years ago,
in a wild card game, if you're losing the wild card game,
yeah. I think right. I think it depends on how. If Dak go out and play like he played in 2016, nobody could. Go ahead, OC.
No, you got it, boss. I'll wait. I hold my thought. What?
No, go ahead. I'm gonna remember mine.
No. Yeah. So all I was gonna say was this. It doesn't something like, hey, I tell my kids sometimes in some of these things, I say, look, man, if you lose, right, you can't control everything what the team does. You can control what you do. If you lose, make sure it's not your fault. And that's what this situation is, right? If they lose in a wild card game, well, if Dak Prescott does his part, there's nothing you can say to Dak Prescott. You have no bullets in the gun to shoot against Dak Prescott, who had presumably a great year and then plays a solid game. You got other problems on your roster. Now, what will happen is that Mike McCarthy gets fired. That's what happens. Yeah. Right? If you lose in a wild card game, that's going to happen. Yeah. But Dak Prescott exiting stage right, unless he just lays a complete goose egg,
he would have to be garbage.
In my opinion.
He would have to be garbage. And this would have to happen. Yeah. Because to me, they would have to piss Dak off. For him to be like, all right, if y'all go play with me, you know what I'm saying, there's no trade clause, but I want to pick this team over here. I'm out of here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it would have to get ugly. Can we talk about that for a minute? Because I've been noticing something about Dak. Dak been kind of...
Well, Dak been on the frustration side. Yeah. But I'm gonna say this to the Jerry Jones defense though, and I'm like a defense attorney now with the Jones family. Mm-hmm. I can't get mad at them for purchasing life insurance, and that is exactly what Trey Lance is. Because, and I encourage you guys, if you guys watching in the chat, purchase some life insurance if you don't have it, and just go ahead and get some. But and don't come after me, Illuminati. I'm just saying, But here's what I want to say with this before. We seen this before. We had a good team heading into the playoffs, but the quarterback got hurt. And I'm going all the way back in the Romo era. That year we had Kyle Orton as the doggone quarterback. Could you imagine if we made some arrangements then? Because we were just a quarterback away on that particular run. And I look at it like the Jones family is looking at this like, damn, the 49ers, even if they had Trey Lance healthy, they would have been in the Super Bowl last year, juxtaposed to Josh Johnson. I think Trey Lance, if healthy, last year he would have beaten the doggone Eagles. So they looking at it like, how can we better our best? Dak Prescott been hurt for the last 3 years. I just need to make sure that I got someone who's similar to Dak Prescott in the pinch if he get hurt. I understand Cooper Rush can hold down the fort, but let's be realistic with this. He averaged 17 points a game, and the team was the teams that we were able to win from. Our defense were not allowing the opposing team to get over 20 points. That's not sustainable enough. So that's why Jerry Jones was looking at it like, shoot, let me secure my future with some life insurance. Y'all take it away from here.
Yeah.
I agree.
I definitely also want to say this. Even for me watching preseason with Trey Lance, stop playing. Trey Lance needs to be the number 2. Don't even play with me. I'm sorry. Look. You listen. I trust my eyes. Don't play with me, Cowboy Nation. I don't want to hear nothing. Listen, I like the heart of
doing it, boss. They out there doing it, boss.
Don't be goofy. Oh hell,
they being goofy, boss.
Are they?
What they doing?
150,000 people on Twitter being goofy, bro. That's why I called this emergency audible.
Man, listen, it's not even close, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like here's the thing, is what I was saying, right? Right now, as of August 29th, yes, Trey Lance is QB3. He just got in the rock, you know what I'm saying, in the locker room. He didn't play on him have a helmet yet. But week 5, he's QB2 regardless.
Yes.
He's QB2 regardless,
Yes.
bro. Like,
Regardless.
and this is a Jerry Jones pick. He's going to be QB2.
Yes.
So in that scenario, as of this year, there's 2 scenarios where Dak will have to fall flat, which I don't think he'll ever do. Or if there's an injury, we're not going into the season with an injured Dak Prescott and saying, okay, we can get to the Super Bowl with Cooper Rush. They're going to plug Trey Lance out there and try to find a spark that way and keep things afloat. So, I understand it, like, oh, he's not even in QB2 right now. He's QB3. Well, yeah, because he doesn't know the playbook. By week 4, he's QB2. I can guarantee you, and I also guarantee you will see Trey Lance on the field this season. You can book it. I asked for bets. Nobody wanted to bet. You're going to see Trey Lance on the field this year,
Man,
2023.
they killing us over here in the comment box over here on my side. I know y'all can't read it. Hey, man. Yeah. They said this Trey Lance talk is low-key blasphemous. You know what I'm saying?
How?
That's why we audible.
Let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick. I dare any one of y'all to go watch preseason 1 versus the Raiders. Watch Trey Lance in the first half, okay? Go look at the protection. Like, I know you looked at it, Tuck. What was that protection?
I did a whole film session, all of it. It was horrible. Like, there was a play last Saturday where he almost got his life taken, but still stood in the pocket and delivered a strike. Like,
eyes downfield. You know what I mean?
They had eyes downfield, perfect hitch.
Yeah.
Like, now was there some misreads? Yeah, but he was playing with the third team, right? There were some drops, a lot of things going on.
Oof.
But to sit here and act like this kid can't play football, y'all, that's what got me hot this morning. That's what really got me hot.
Play.
I was like, nah, bro.
Tuck, I went and took a fresh look. You know what I mean? Like, fresh. My eyes is fresh off this, bro. Like, it's people not watching film, bro. And then listen, I'm gonna tell you, the protection was bad, his weapons was bad. Right. And it was a whole lot. He should have got sacked a lot more,
Right. Now, so in 2016, when Romo went down, was Dak Prescott a fully developed quarterback, or did we already have a team around him and we simplified the offense and built it around what Dak does well with the run game and Ezekiel Elliott? Like, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like Dak came in 2016 as a rookie and was fully developed and could fully go through all of his progressions. No, it was a simplified offense. They built it around Dak, and Dak had a great rookie season. So you can build systems around progressing players. I mean, we just saw it in Philly. You know what I'm saying? We just saw it in Philly. This is not act like Jalen Hurts was, he was MVP coming to the season. No, they took that defense, they made it the strength. They had the offensive line, they had the run game. They wouldn't add A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and the list goes on, and they built it around Jalen Hurts. You can do the same exact thing with Trey Lance. There's no way you can convince me that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say you can't convince me that with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Tony Pollard, and this offensive line along with this defense, we can only win 2 games with Trey Lance at quarterback. When we just won plenty of games with Cooper Rush throwing for 100 yards and 0 touchdowns. We literally won games last year with Cooper Rush throwing for 100 yards. 100. It's 100. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But y'all mean to tell me that Trey Lance isn't ready? I'm not buying it. I'm
not buying it. And see, I see why you so adamant. When you fresh off the film, bro, I'm like you, Tuck. Ain't no way y'all gonna talk me into Trey Lance can't play. You a goofy.
Right.
Where my button?
Right.
I got my goofy.
I got you.
Right.
We hit it at
the
same time.
Well, I'm gonna strengthen your case. I'm gonna strengthen your case because this was done not just in one instance. This has been done in several instances across the league. Okay, Justin Herbert, when he came to the league with San Diego, they did similar things to adapt to his style to help him. Lamar Jackson, similar things. Josh Allen, similar things. Right? Even go back to Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson. I said Westbrook. Sorry, Russell Wilson. They did similar things to adjust and to help him when he was the starting quarterback, being young at Seattle. So, it's things you can do and packages you can do with young quarterbacks to help them be successful. The thing about Trey Lance that I really like is that, man, the dude has a cannon of an arm, and he's super fast. He's also the fastest quarterback on this team right now. The dude is a 4.44. The dude can move. He can run. So he's a guy that if stuff breaks down, he can make a play for you. Do I anticipate that happening this year? Well, it's an if and then situation. Me and Boss Cowboy talked about this. If Dak Prescott gets hurt, this dude's going to get a chance. He's going to get a chance. Yep. I'm telling you. He's going to get a chance. So, you know.
If Dak get hurt, it's going to be a quarterback controversy. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just going to tell you straight to your face. He that good, y'all. I see, if you put this offense, this weapons, this protections with Trey Lance.
Right. And so that's where I'm saying. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to explain.
Nobody is saying that Dak Prescott is gone. You know, I need to probably stop reading the comments, but nobody's saying that Dak Prescott is gone, y'all. You know, we all here for Dak Prescott.
But that's the overprotect.
That he's going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So
it's just an acknowledgement of the talent. That's all we doing. So,
that's how good we are. We're talking about a third string quarterback over here. Go ahead, boss. My bad.
I think we're talking about a franchise quarterback.
But for right now, he's a third. You know, just
right
like
now,
the DB.
But his upside is the truth, and I 100% agree with J Tuck. By week 4, week 5, don't even play with me. I don't want to hear nothing else about Cooper Rush. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm saying based on the film.
Boss, I said that when we did the first show about this. I said he was brought here to be the number 2 quarterback. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, the reason why Philly won it is because they had a capable number 2 quarterback when Wentz went down. They did not rest on their laurels. They continued to build it, because it's not just about protecting Dak, because I'm not here to protect Dak. We talking about football and what could happen. So if Dak had a thumb injury in November, I need a guy that can go and help and potentially win it. That's what we saying. This guy is so good that you can simplify the playbook and he can win it. You know what I mean? Our defense that good. Our offense that good. Our coaching is that good. I mean that. I mean that. I mean, all you got to go do is look at what was around him in preseason and say, okay, what was he working with and what did he do with it? You know, what did he do with it? This is a good thing, and this is gonna push Dak. And I want to say one more thing about Dak too. I want y'all to notice something and hear me out.
Okay.
Other teams run away great talent for the psyche of their quarterback. I'm gonna say that again. Other teams run away great talent for the psyche of their quarterback. What did New England do for Jones when they had Cam Newton? They said his voice is too big in the locker room. It wasn't the talent of Cam. It was the presence of Cam. So to alleviate their up and coming new quarterback, they got rid of an asset. So what did San Fran do? They have a guy that they want to be comfortable. They don't want him looking over his shoulder. So what did they do? They got rid of the controversy and the asset. But see, Dak is different. Dak accepts it. Dak is gonna be pissed from this, and he go bust people upside their nose from this.
Facts.
It should make you respect the hell out of Dak, because other teams are saying our quarterback's mental might be so fragile that they can't handle talent coming in. Like, for instance, what happened with Wentz when Hurts came in? Come on now.
Folded.
Come on, he
folded.
Just from the pressure of competition in the room. But Dak is asked to take top 5 talent and play through it like it can't affect him, and he will.
He will, and that's why I'm saying Cowboys. They got
quit acting like
our quarterback is soft. Got to quit acting like Dak is soft. Like, oh, you can't say he's gonna have like Dak is gonna rise to Dak has came into the league knowing nothing but competition and having a dark cloud. Because every pass he threw as a rookie, it was that Tony Romo cloud. So it's like, don't act like Dak can't handle the pressure. He'll be perfectly fine, but we can't just spoil and coddle him. Like, you don't think that Tyron Smith felt pressure when we took the first round pick last year with Tyler Smith? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they turn around and got another left tackle. Like, you don't think Michael Gallup's feeling the pressure right now with Jalen Todd? Like, it's just football. These guys compete for a living, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They compete for a living. Dak is going to be perfectly fine, but we don't have to coddle the Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not incapable of handling. He's going to be perfectly fine, but it's insurance policy. It's insurance policy.
A good one.
A damn good one.
Oh, well, not to just, put this out there like that, but we got a chance to talk to a guy that worked with all three quarterbacks, Dak, Will Greer, and Trey. And he was saying that Trey, with this opportunity, you give him these weapons, just look out. That's his words. That's his mouth about Trey Lance over here in Dallas land. And he said unbelievable potential, strong arm, good vision. And on top of that, he improved those feet. Remember we talked about that, Boss Cowboy?
Yep.
About the feet and everything. And he's been working with Jeff Christensen, and who's been working who's Pat Mahomes' guy. Yep. So this is about to be a good situation. This is a plus for us, basically.
Right. It's a major plus.
Yeah. It's a tremendous plus. The only thing I'm gonna say is, Dak, I like you. Dak, you my guy. Please don't get hurt.
Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt, dog. Do not.
Please, dog. Because as soon as Trey Lance hits CeeDee Lamb on the deep ball, or he breaks out of the pocket and sprints up the field, man, the whole stadium's gonna go bananas, and they gonna be yelling, Trey.
And that's the one thing. You're right, OC, because the one thing that we're lucky is that we didn't make this move during the draft. Because if we were sitting on Twitter and saw John Machota posting clips of Trey Lance at camp, and then we got to see him with the ones at preseason, it would be a complete circus. That's the one bullet that we dodged. So when people say it's their pressure, if you compare talent to talent, of course Dak Prescott's the more talented quarterback right now. Yep. But where the pressure really lies is what OC is saying. You cannot let this kid get the keys to the kingdom, because if he gets the keys to the kingdom, all hell will break loose. So if it's a pinky, an ankle, a calf, you're going to have to push through it a little bit. You're going to push through a little bit because, yeah.
I'll put it like this. This is what I see in Trey Lance. Dak is Jordan, but Trey Lance is Tracy McGrady. If you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? He, like, in terms of talent, different as of now.
Right.
But when Tracy get going, he look like MJ. You know?
Right.
In some games, you be like, ooh. Yeah, that's
that's okay, boss. You long as you didn't use my guy, I see how you dodged. I see how you dodged it, bro. That's okay, man.
If you
don't have to mention the Lakers around here. You don't have to mention the Lakers. That's okay. That's okay, man. That's okay.
I did that on purpose, bro.
I know you did that on purpose, man. That's okay.
Cause see, Kobe and Jordan too close. And matter of fact, Jordan, like Kobe got more skill than Jordan.
Okay. Oh yeah. I appreciate
it's just
that.
Jordan a better closer and a finisher, more heart, but skill wise, Kobe. All day. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah. I dare anybody try to debate me on that too. Man, shoot, I'm at Mumble. Woo-wee. I rock. Ain't nobody hating on Mumble, bro, for real. All right, now let's talk about this trade real quick.
That Noah, yeah, we touched on it a little bit. I won't get into it.
Man.
Yeah.
Kelvin Joseph, Noah. So y'all already know where I stand. You know where I stand. I'm good with it. Like I said, I had him ranked number 3, so versus, you know what I mean? So former first, I'm cool with it. So what's your thoughts on the Tuck? I know you're a draft guy.
Yeah, so I'm a little conflicted, right? 1 second here. All right, let's turn my camera off. I'm a little conflicted, right? And the reason why I'm conflicted on this trade is because I feel like it was kind of just a swap out where I felt like me personally, and we'll talk about the final 53 here, I would have preferred to just possibly releasing Kelvin Joseph and saving that seat, their roster spot for Isaiah Land, right? So that's where I'm at with it. But when you look, yeah, I would have just did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just hey, if you want to move on from them, I would have probably released them and then added another player to the final 53 and gone from there. And I feel like you could have got a cornerback 6. That's honestly where he's going to be. Cornerback 6, cornerback 7, just a random depth piece, maybe a special teams guy. You could have got that off the waivers. So that's the one thing I'll say about it. But, you know, talking to some of my friends who are Dolphins fans, he was a frustrating pick because once again, right, he was a first round pick. I think he was pick number 30 overall out of Auburn. And I watched him out of Auburn and like, he's a very athletic player. I mean, he returned kicks. Like he done a lot of different things. He had great coverage. Yeah, very physical. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't watch him when he's with the Dolphins. You know, to be honest with you,
I'm not sure how things
transpired. But coming out of Auburn, like you said, boss, like he was one of those ones in that draft. And I guess things really didn't work out. And from the friends that I've talked to, he was pretty much just absent. Like he got beat a lot, even got beat over the top, like gave up some deep passes. So he's pretty much felt like, you know, the Dolphins version of Kelvin Joseph. So, you know, from that standpoint, I feel like we got an athletic guy, but, you know, maybe it's something, you know, where they're going to be, you know, a different change of scenery for the both of them, what to see. But like me personally, I would like to just keep that spot available for, you know, some of the players that we'll cut that we talked about here in a second.
Law.
No doubt. If possible, I hate to throw this at you. If you can build a plane while it's in the air, I got it tweeted under David Moore's tweet at the top of my tweet, I believe, at the top of my page. And it's going to be the official wordings of what Mike McCarthy said on that piece. And if you can get there, let me know and I'll read it.
Okay, I'm pulling it now.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
And while you do that, I'll answer, Law. Look, man, I think that, you know, this is probably like a good thing for Kelvin Joseph. I think that, man, he's getting a fresh start. He's going to get an opportunity to get a look to see maybe if he can play and be more than a special teams player, because that's where he was headed for the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like that with some of the troubles and underperformance last year, that, man, he had kind of worn out his welcome. So to me, it could be, if he uses the opportunity right, a blessing in disguise for Kelvin Joseph. You know, that's how I feel about it. The other gentleman, you know, I got a chance to look at a little bit of his film, not a lot. I just think this dude is like a tremendous athlete, man. He's an SEC athlete, but just like lacks disciplines and makes like technical errors. But like athletically, speed-wise, agility-wise, I mean, he's a pro corner. He's a dude that could potentially play, but he got to put it together, you know. And maybe I don't know him personally. I know it's a lot of distractions down in South Beach. I do know that. So maybe it's not as many here in Dallas, you know. So and maybe that helps him, and maybe it helps him to get a fresh start too.
My boy JB say Kelvin Joseph's in South Beach.
Yeah, that's he probably already dropped. I mean, y'all was following on Instagram. He probably already about to drop a video, you know. But here's my one thing I would say about Kelvin Joseph is that, you know, I'm kind of shocked that the Cowboys actually didn't want to see the dividends on their investment, because he had a solid camp, had a solid preseason, and it looks like he was starting to kind of, you know, put things together. But once No. C. Walker kind of put, you know, the tweet out there that Jordan Lewis wasn't going to be on PUP, I was like, okay, how many inside guys do you really need? But it's just like, man, you spent a second round pick on him, and he's finally starting to settle a little bit. Maybe he kind of wanted to be a little bit more patient, but the Cowboys made a move and, you know, got a new guy. So we'll see what happens with Kelvin Joseph in Miami. Wish him nothing but the best. But, you know, the Cowboys had to move on, and that wouldn't have been the case if they would have listened to me that draft. But, you know,
check this out. My boy say, just because we get a player don't mean we have to overhype them. Y'all do it when we draft a trade. See, you obviously came in late because let me ask you a question. Was it hype on what I said before we even drafted? Before he was drafted?
Right.
Because I wrote a book about this dog.
Right, a whole book.
A whole book about this, bro. Like all this capping, like I'm capping, bro.
Right.
No, bro, this is the book right here, bro. I got the rank.
And that's before this news was released. So
yeah, it's before
Right.
the
Came
news
verse
was released,
hype,
bro.
you know.
Like,
Right.
is my rank is here, bro, and it was years before this, homie. So,
Right.
so like, I don't know who y'all think y'all listening to. The OC put in major work. I put in major work. Law put in major work, and Tuck put in major work. So
Right.
I'm talking about for years. Like, we know these guys from years of research in the past. And Tuck was honest. I was honest. Tuck said this: I need to go catch up with his film from Miami. I'm the same way. But all I was saying was, from when they was coming out, I had him higher than Boss Man.
man,
So
Hey.
just saying, that's a good sign of what the Cowboys did, in my opinion. Is that bad? Are we
Right.
capping? Are we hyping? Or are you hating?
that
That's what
boy
I'm saying,
balled.
like, it's-
That boy balled out. Not a receipt. He brought the
Book.
book. He brought
Yeah, he in the
that
book.
brother brought the
Man,
book.
bro.
So
Guess
if
who else
if
I
you
got-
ain't bringing the book out, then you ain't real. You know what I'm saying? As it relates to that debate discussion, because he had it already tangibly in the book. So,
Right.
so with that being said, this is what Mike McCarthy said today on Kelvin Joseph not being here. He says that you would just thankful for what Kelvin gave us in the last 2 years. I think when Kelvin went inside the preseason, people noticed, meaning that he played inside. But on Noah, he's more of an outside than inside. And that, just like that, is what my guy Jay Tuck was just saying, that, hey, you now starting to see how Kelvin Joseph started working inside, but it's not enough room for him inside because you got the Bland, because you got Jay Lou, and I believe they're going to slide Eric Scott back inside during the regular season. So we need more help on the outside. And for me, I thought that this dude was going to be an inside for inside, but it appears that he's going to be on the outside.
The final word.
The final word.
No, you good. So it appears that he's going to be on the outside. So to me, that's pretty dope too, because like y'all saying, he's not even CB 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's going to be way in the back end, and he can slowly gravitate to the starting roster if necessary. And we got Joe Witt Jr. and Al Harris who can probably get him up to speed.
And then one of my brothers said, "Boss, they didn't come out in the same draft." Yeah, I know, because one of my books is from 2021, and
There's
the
two
other
books.
one is 2 books. I have 2 books. So I was saying, in one book, I had Joseph in his class ranked 7th. In the other book, the year prior, I had Noah ranked 3rd. I will say Kelvin Joseph was in a deeper class, though. He was. His class was more talented, in my opinion. You know? So that is measuring the Kool-Aid a little bit more accurately, but that's still a good indication. That's all I'm saying.
True.
In terms of value for value, because it's a lot of people didn't know who he was. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people didn't know who he was, and you know, I've done a research on him already, at least previously. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully, everybody, we on the same page now.
No doubt.
Now the 53 roster. I know you had some thoughts on that, Tuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, overall with the 53 roster, I'm kind of pleased with it. The one shot cut that I am still not going to sleep well about tonight was cutting Isaiah Land. I feel like in a pass rushing league, you had a natural pass rusher who had 16 sacks in a season, at FAMU, and was getting pressure almost every game. I mean, he was cutting up all preseason, all camp. Why would you let that hit the open market? And I feel like the Cowboys could have been a little bit more strategic with the way that they handle things, because here's what I was saying. If you scroll up a little bit so everyone can probably see it, because I think my box is over it, right? They kept Dante Fowler, right? Which I understand. Dante Fowler had a great camp, but what you could have did is you could have used the veteran deal with Dante Fowler, where you cut him and you can bring him back and he doesn't touch the waivers, versus Isaiah Lance. So you could have got more strategic because he's a veteran, right? Because he's been in the league for more than 4 years. So, that was my frustration. Like, they could have just got a little bit more tactical with keeping Isaiah Land, but outside of that, man, I'm excited. They kept Hunter Lupke. I know he's pretty much like Cowboys Nation's pet project. He played well. They kept Hunter Lupke. Jalen Brooks made the cut, but overall, the one cut that I'm just like, I'm not feeling that, and I'm kind of, what I'm saying, and my feelings about it was Isaiah Land, because you don't let that type of talent just hit the open market, because this is a NFL passing league and pass rushers have a premium price, and that's the type of kid who just gets to the quarterback just naturally off his instincts and has a lot of upside. And Dan Quinn spoke very highly about him. I don't understand that move.
Well, with Fowler, he only had like close to 320 snaps last year, and he had 6 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Or are you willing to gamble that all the way with the? And I know the rulings, what you're saying with the cutting of the veteran, you can bring them back, but I think that they are pretty much high on Fowler, and I think that they are more appeased to Fowler than what we've seen out of Dorrance Armstrong. I think that he may be trade bait, like Coach Marv said. If not, then they're going to rock with Dorrance Armstrong, and they're going to see whether or not Isaiah Land, because from my understanding, let me know if this is accurate, J Tuck, that I don't foresee a team signing him to the 53 right now, but if he clears waivers, he got first right of refusal, right, to where he want to go. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. So he has until 11 a.m. to make a decision if he clears, right? So let's say, for instance, because this is what I was talking about for Malik Davis, right? Let's say, for instance, the Cowboys, like, we want to bring you back. He could say, nah, actually, I'm good. I'm going to go to the Patriots or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he does have that opportunity to refuse it. Will he? I highly doubt it, because I feel like Dan Quinn and him really had a good relationship. And the only reason I was saying cut Fowler was just because of that veteran waiver. Like, I mean, take Fowler out. You could did it with Cooper Rush. You could have did it with a few others, right? But also, you could have set our kicker on the side of the street and Brandon Aubrey. And I guarantee you nobody was going to swoop him up either. So guys felt like Isaiah Land was just too much of a risk to put out there, but we'll have to sit and see. But outside of that, I wasn't really surprised. I would say Matt Farniok kind of caught me off guard a little bit, because they cut Alex Lindstrom yesterday. I believe he had the injury to Josh Ball, who's going to be out for the whole season. It was like, okay, we don't have a backup center currently on our roster as things currently stand. So Matt Farniok kind of caught me off guard. And I'm also saying I'm a little surprised by Jabril Cox. The way that our linebacker room was, I was kind of surprised by that one. But I think the one that really just hit me the most was the Isaiah Land cut, 'cause I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, we did.
But let me just say this before someone else go again. $600,000 here is probably worth more than $900,000 elsewhere, because the Cowboys, the ultimate brand. I'm telling you, man, once you put that silver and blue on, I'm thinking that you can always parlay that down into some more and more opportunities. And I'm quite sure that Isaiah Land, you hear me out, because I know it's people been watching these shows. Hey, man, I can't tell you to walk away from $200,000 to $300,000 more, but walk away from it, bro, because the Cowboys, the moment your name and you get into one game, all it takes is one game and win the crowd, you forever be a Cowboys.
Fact.
But go ahead, y'all.
Yeah.
Real quick, before anybody else go, real quick, I just want to say something. Next Tuesday, we have Coach to Brandon Aubrey. Okay, so anybody that got questions on kicker, that's gonna be the show to come to. And Law, that was a good discussion we was having with him in training camp, man. So that's gonna be money. So y'all make sure y'all tune in next week to the Final Word. That's gonna be dope. Y'all make sure y'all check that out, man. Coach Brian, all right?
Especially all of my Mississippi boys, man. Hell State and all of those boys in Mississippi.
Nah, that's a must. And see, and it's a lot that he was saying that already transpired. So, and then he trained kickers, so he go talk about the psychological things on kicker, how they prepare. Is Brandon ready? What's the best way for them to go? I was thinking of a lot of his discussion even when I was watching the final preseason game when they sent him out there for 59 yards. So, because it's a lot of people got questions on kicker. A lot of people. So why not talk to the horse's mouth? So that's what we're trying to bring over here with the Final Word with J Tuck, Law, Big, myself, OC, we trying to bring y'all value. We trying to give y'all answers, not just fluff, answers.
You want answers?
This the right place. All right?
Right.
All right, I want to go look at that list again from Blocking in the Bars. Shout out to Blocking in the Bars, man, for doing a real good job, especially when we featuring stuff that they already kind of did the legwork for on terms of who made the roster. Now,
If you go all the way to the top, you'll see who the writer is, and we'll give them a shout out too. Somewhere.
Yeah, that's RJ.
RJ Ochoa. So yeah. Salute to him, man.
And we truly can call RJ a friend of the show. He frequent with us now. He said he'll come back at any time. This would probably be a good time to bring him back as well, because I know he really deep into rosters and cuts and that type of talk. But we also got this too. I think you're right, man. The offensive line was kind of weird to me, Tuck. You know, that was weird to me in corner. Hold on, we got 500 people watching and only 184 likes.
Crazy. Crazy. Let's get them likes up, y'all. Let's get this content out and get this likes up, man.
How y'all do us like that, man?
No, we got to hit him with a breaking news on the. You ready?
I apologize for my Lance comments. I got y'all. They said we ain't liking nothing tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, we need your best pitch on these likes, man.
Well, we are reporting here live in Law Nation Studios, as well as Boss Cowboy Studios, and J Tuck and my guy OC. We're not here with the likes. What's going on? It's important news, and everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, talking about they love us, and hey, they're not supporting. Yeah, they say, hey, boss. They said, man, we supposed to be at 1 million subscribers right about now.
They can't hit the like button.
Why you ain't hitting that like button?
Right.
Why you ain't subscribing? Why you ain't sharing this thing all the way around? What's going on? Cowboy Nation, y'all said y'all roll with us. Y'all said y'all fight with us. What's going on? Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, man. Let's go, man. Come on now. That's crazy. That's way too. Y'all done made Law leave. Y'all done sit low up here.
Yeah. Why you, hey, have you ever seen that button though? When people like, hey man, you supposed to be at 1 million subscribers. Well, you ever seen that? Why you ain't hit the like button? Why you ain't sharing?
Yeah.
Y'all need to go ahead and do that for us, man.
I get a lot of fans that say, man, I'm mad, boss, you not at 20,000 yet.
Right.
I'm like, bro, like, it's a team, bro.
No. Go do it again, boss. Do it again, boss. Say what they say.
Hold on.
We're reporting live at Boss Cowboy Sports why he ain't at 20,000 subscribers yet. Because y'all ain't hitting that like button. Y'all ain't sharing this content. Y'all not subscribing to the nation. Y'all got to make sure y'all share this everywhere and everywhere you can find it. Share this Boss Cowboy Sports, man. This stuff ain't for free.
It ain't for free, dog. No, it ain't. Yeah, man. So
I'll say over here on CFO Sports, we about 300 short for hitting our goal for 10,000. Y'all know we hit 10,000 too. Not gonna go to that Jets game with me, but time's ticking and y'all short. You know what I'm saying? Y'all a little short right now. So y'all about 300. So if y'all trying to hit, be chosen to go and see us whoop on Aaron Rodgers, y'all got some work to do because time's ticking for that first game start.
You 300 away from 10,000, bro. Y'all
300 away,
get that, man. Come on now.
300 away. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to be with your boy drinking Cowboy Ritas and
come on.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you got something on the line. You taking somebody to the game?
Taking 2 people to the game. 2 people to the game with me.
You can take Ashanika and Pookie. Come on, y'all. Y'all subscribe.
So another thing though that was kind of like linebacker.
Would you highlight his name for?
We raise a blade. Damn, that linebacker. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all.
Hold on, what you highlight him for, boss?
Yeah, they got Marquise Bell on the linebacker instead of Cox.
Yeah, because he's playing linebacker this year.
Yeah, but it's like see, this is the sad part. I actually talked to Jabril Cox.
You did.
And see, the thing, it's because I was even saying when he was drafted that he should have always been a big nickel. Always. He should have been playing more safety-ish than linebacker-ish. Because I warned that this was going to happen too. Because of the depth of the linebacker room at the time. You know? I was looking. Now the safety room is deep, and they done got this man booted up out of here. He was considered, when he was drafted, the steal of the draft. Do y'all remember that?
Oh yeah, that was the one that kind of turned this draft around for me. I was kind of pouting until we went and got Jabril. And I was like, okay, I'm back a little bit. Yeah. So but for the most part, I did say this, and I would say that this is true. It was impossible with as much talent is on this team. We had to be disappointed somewhere. We had to. It was gonna happen. Yeah. It just had to happen. It's just too much talent on this team. What's your thoughts on that, Law?
Well, somewhere we was going to lose out on something. But the Jabril Cox thing, I just wish that we could have figured out a way. I did hear of the injury of him trying to come back too fast. And the same love and adulations and the feelings that we had for Overshawn is what we had for Jabril Cox, believe it or not. So we hope that this will not be the whole same song and dance with Overshawn next year, because people are going to have the expectations of him doing the things that he did before the injury. So, but when I look at Jabril Cox, they are hoping that he clear waivers and bring him back on the roster. And hopefully this will light a fire up under him. And I think that what Big Game James said before we went live, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm going to speak as if though it's him speaking. He said that Jabril Cox, was that you, boss, or was that Big Game? He said he made plays. He tackled, but he didn't make no plays. He wasn't in the backfield enough. We're looking for somebody to get in the backfield. We're looking for somebody to explode and get off and know that their front is there, and they want these linebackers to flow like water, hit something, and make sure that it's before they get things going. So that's my only knock on Jabril. But outside of that, he covered well, he tackled well, and he's been there, but he just didn't make no splashes for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of the plays that you saw Jabril Cox, and even when I was watching him at camp, me and Law without the Oxnard, a lot of it was sideline to sideline, but it was pretty much once the running backs had broken the line of scrimmage, but he wasn't in the backfield. And you kind of compare the motor to where he was side by side with Overshawn, which still hurts to this day. It was just a different, it was a different experience, but it's just like, I felt that Jabril, he looked more like he did his rookie season versus than he did last year coming off the ACL. So it's like, I felt like he was playing with a little bit more confidence, but just like Big Game was saying, it just wasn't the there he is play. He just wasn't in the backfield. It was kind of just like, okay, maybe a 7-yard run and you're going sideline to sideline making a play. So I think that Jabril will be back, but I agree with you, boss. I always thought that he was going to be our coverage linebacker. Like I feel like that's what he's done well in LSU, kind of your hybrid, but he was more kind of one of those guys that were used in space and kind of more of a tackler and then more as a hard hitter. I'm like, that really wasn't his game or how he's kind of built. So, I think he will be back. But I was kind of surprised because, if you go back to that list, you got to take pretty much Micah Parsons off that linebacker list because he really don't count. So it's like you get extremely thin at the linebacker room, and there was some guys, kind of cut. Deion Jones was another one. I know there's these rumors that Deion Jones and Dan Quinn didn't get along in Atlanta. It's like, okay, I don't care, make it work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe the Cowboys have some plans to go outside for linebacker help. But as of right now, man, we're extremely thin, and I just thought Brill was going to be an asset. And when I did my final 53 predictions this morning, I was a little bit more strategic about different ways to keep players like Jabril and even Quentin Bohanna still on the roster, but the Cowboys didn't want to listen to me. So
well, let me do this. Let me let my guy get in here then, because I know boss, he ain't gonna dodge it. Coach Marv called me out and said, "Law with the wee woo, please with the wee woo."
On what?
on linebacker.
Jabril?
Why don't you break it down, Boss Cowboy, on the
About Jabril, I
no,
would
no,
say
no, not about Jabril, about the overall. Like we looking for athletic linebackers, and we looking for linebackers that can do something. And he's talking about number 55, been here for like 4 or 5 years. But can you break that part down there? I'll let my guy Boss break that.
Well, I'll say this, man. This year, based on the past, Coach Marv, right? He got a reason to be concerned about LVE, because LVE the last 2 years has been soft, but I saw him pick it up last year when Clark came back. I did. I'm being all the way honest. Like, he picked it up, and I think Clark. I'm being honest. I think Clark helped him. I think Clark gave him courage. Because Clark had a similar injury. So when he saw Clark putting his head in there, being fearless, it caused LVE, in my opinion, to also be fearless. Like he stopped catching and start tackling. But then also what happened is he got hurt. Because to me, I don't think LVE was ever built to be like a middle linebacker ever. He has an ex-safety frame that he bulked up to play linebacker when he was at Boise State. So to me, that's why he continues to have his injuries. But I think LVE gonna have a good year. I do, because he got to. He has to. Because if he start like he started last year, I will say that his Bengals game was real good. But other than that, it was until about the end of the season. But Clark and Devin Harper, they real linebackers. They're real, and they're built for it. Genetically, they built for it. So if I could make a prediction, this is what I'm gonna say. I think LV go start hot, but I think he go get injured. I do. I hope he doesn't, but I think he go get injured, and I think it's gonna be the emerging of Clark. And I don't think Clark is gonna ever get out of there, because Clark, unless that neck come back. And then Harper, I always loved his athleticism. So now that's my thoughts on it, Law.
Yes, indeed. So Clark and Harper to the future, and I appreciate all of the super chats over here. I thank y'all, man, so much. And to that point and to that degree, Coach Marv want to know about why Durden is on the still on this team or what have you. Can y'all go through that right quick?
They kept him.
They kept
I don't
know. I think he said injury reserve, something like that. I think you can't cut a hurt player. I don't know how that works. I guess you get still a free roster spot if he's injured before that time frame. I don't know. But I know that they call him Project X. Durden.
Yeah.
Project X. They had high hopes for him, man, and that's just how that goes. But I appreciate everybody for your super chats. James Brown, appreciate you. We got Chris, thank you. Brovence and B Bird, appreciate you for your super chat as well.
Another guy that I'm happy for, Wanye Thomas, man. I think he earned it.
Right. He went out there and took it.
He took it. Talk about it.
Yeah, so Wanye Thomas, and me and Law once again watched him out in camp. Like, he was just everywhere, like every day of practice. And what I was very focused on is what players were stacking days, right?
Yes.
Like, not don't have a good day on Monday, and then again we see you again on Thursday. Like, are you continuously stacking days? And Wanye was one of those guys I was talking about frequently, was just jumping off daily. But for him, it just didn't stop with camp and practice. He also did it in the preseason, where he was stacking games. He had the interception like out the gate, right? So, he's extremely athletic safety, can do a lot of different things, especially at the free safety spot. Special teams guy. He was doing like punt returns and kick returns at a camp. Like, they had him doing a variety of different things. So he was one of those guys where a lot of people kind of look side-eye, but he went out there and took his spot. So hats off to Wanye. Congratulations, because he earned every bit of it. Because when you were going to that safety one, like you said, boss, it was a lot of safety. Safety after safety, right? Was he going to make the cut? So it was clearly that he had to stand out and make plays and make himself heard, and he did it this preseason and also in camp. So and I think he's going to be an asset. I think he's going to be a future asset for the Cowboys in the future.
Yeah, and Tuck, he play like he just love football. That's
Right,
the
he
thing I
do.
like about Wanye Thomas is he plays with his heart on his sleeve, you know. And you know, Law and I talked to him when he was in training camp. Super humble, super cool dude. But man, when them lights come on, he was almost starting to look, and I'm being honest, overshun-ish. Like in terms of emotional leader, somebody that get people excited, man. Like I could see it in him. And I'm happy that the Dallas Cowboys rewarded somebody for taking it, like you said. Like he went in there and took it. Like, and that's impressive. Like even my boy Special K said Thomas is going to be this year Bland. Like based on how Bland did last year, I can see that. Where Bland kept stacking good days, good practices, good preseasons, and you couldn't deny him by the end, and it just carried him into the season. I can see that with Wanye. What's your thoughts on that, Law?
Yeah, I'm looking at someone taking advantages of the situation. You know, he can do special teams, and last year he was here and there, but you look at the tape, you were sitting there saying, hey, man, this dude could be a kickoff return guy. He was #1 in Georgia Tech or what have you. And now you look back at his career. Now he took ultimate advantage of Dono getting hurt. So when Dono got hurt, he said to himself, all right, give me this opportunity. Yes, I may be a free safety, but I can give you box body work too when you put me down low. And he did just that. I think he got good size to him. He got good footwork, good speed. And then, like you said, he's humble, but when he's on the field, he turned into this warrior, this gladiator type of warrior that he don't folds, and he gets it to the face. We want him to temper that, but it is what it is. Like prepare for glory. That's the type of mindset that Thomas got. And it's good, by the way, to see my last name out there on somebody's back out there. So me out there. I just kind of envision that's me out there. But yeah, it's good.
Tuck, what's your thoughts on this running back?
Yeah, running back's good, man. You know, y'all know that I like Malik Davis, but I feel like Malik Davis just didn't have enough to cut through. And like I said, if I'm his agent, you're not coming back to Dallas, bro. We kind of done with y'all. But Tony Pollard, we know what Tony Pollard looked like coming off the ankle injury, looked well. Deuce Vaughn had a great camp. He flashed in preseason. Rico, we'll have to see if he can stay healthy. But, Hunter Luepke, man, this is what I was saying when I called him to your show on Saturday. It's like, they put this man on full display. Like and Mike McCarthy said it before the game, and I didn't know it was going to be like that, but they really put Hunter Luepke on full display, where it's like, okay, you couldn't cut him. And that's why I was thinking, like, if y'all was going to cut him, why would y'all put him on display like that? So after Saturday, I was like, he's a lock, right? So I feel like, they got some young talent behind Tony Pollard, a little bit of question marks, but we kind of see, okay, who can be our power guy? Who can be, our another scout back kind of weapon, right? Who can be our more balanced running back behind Tony Pollard? So I feel like the Cowboys feel like they have enough. So I'm good with the running back room. And it may be possible they do bring Malik Davis back. I think he will clear waivers. It's just going to depend on, does Malik really want to return to Dallas, or is he going to try to find an opportunity elsewhere? But overall, with the running back room, I'm good. I feel like they got more than enough. I feel like Tony Pollard, with getting the reps and the touches, he's going to be perfectly fine this season. I'm predicting Tony Pollard to go crazy this year, to be honest with you.
I also want to say about the running back room, to me, they featured Hunter like they got a real plan for him.
Right.
Like they have a vision, like they was trying to build his confidence because they go use him in the season. That's what it looked like to me.
Which was crazy, boss, because the entire time at camp, I was like, I don't know, y'all, because everyone was like, bro, like where's the Hunter Luepke? I'm like, he wasn't getting any reps, any carries. They wasn't doing a lot of I formation with him at fullback. So I was like, I didn't know what the deal was with Hunter Luepke. And even in preseason, he wasn't getting that many carries, but something must have clicked. They said, okay, it's time to fully unleash, and they let the kid go crazy. And you saw all the things that I saw when I scouted him in the draft, right? He has reliable hands, the power, the running in between the tackles, can get outside, pass protection. Yeah, he's very patient, always falling forward, right? So
yeah, I was.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
only thing I
yeah.
like is his balance. That's it. But other than
Right,
that,
he
I was-
falls.
yeah,
Right.
he falls a little
Right.
bit, and that might be
But
nerves.
he falls forward though. But he do fall
falls
forward. You know what I'm
He-
saying? Like
he
yeah,
falls like
What I mean
Terrence
is,
Williams.
it's like with running
Right.
backs, you usually see like
Right.
cat balance. Like you know what I mean?
Right. Oh
Like-
yeah. He doesn't have those types of feet. Like he's like when you see him, and I said this when I was out at camp. Like he was standing next to like Luke Schoonmaker and Jake. Like he's like their size. Like he's a big
Yep.
boy. Like he's not small. Like I thought he was gonna be kind of short and pudgy, kind of a fullback build. He's pretty much built like a tight end, y'all. Like when he was standing with the tight ends doing the drills, he looked like he was one of them. So, I'm excited to see. He's very blue collar. He fits what Mike McCarthy likes to do. And Brian Schottenheimer was talking about utilization of the fullback and everything. I was just getting a little skeptical. I'm like, he wasn't doing nothing when I was out there at camp. Like, is he gonna make it? I don't know, but the wizard strikes again when in May when I sent the tweet and it's like, listen, Hunter Lupe's gonna make this roster, book it. But I was a little worried. You know what I'm saying? He had me a little scared, man, but we came through.
And that could have been Stephen Jones, because you remember Clarence Hill on this very show on the Final Word was like, Stephen Jones is high on Hunter. So then the last preseason game, he's just featured.
Bro, he was featured, bro. Like in a preseason game, because that's when I called into your show, bro, because I remember Malik busted that first run and got down into the red zone. It was like, nope, Hunter time. I was like, look at you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, this is what we doing, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
Like,
Hunter's time. But see,
Right.
this is the thing. How do you
And,
come out of that game?
in that preseason game, did you see when he blocked that guy who's shooting through the A gap too?
Yeah.
So
Right,
he's
right.
blocking. He's blocky guys. So
Right.
He finished
he's
strong.
that dude to me.
He finished strong. And see, he finished the way that I want you to finish going into the season. He caught everything, and we are one of those few teams that really still use a fullback like San Fran.
Right.
It's a part of it, and I love it. He that type. What's your thoughts on that, Law?
What I'm excited about is no longer going to be a throwaway guard playing fullback. You know what I'm saying? When we go in that hard, it ain't going to be, Matt Farniok playing football or Connor Bergman playing fullback. Like, we got a real true fullback. And what I said in my film breakdown when I did it in college, like, he also gives you a passing threat as well. So we saw that translate on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So when I was looking at this thing, I was seeing that the 49ers, right? They went with 5 running backs. No, we went 5 tight ends, 6 running backs. So I told my brother, I said, so what y'all trying to do? He said, we trying to say, and we trying to run that damn ball. So if you're going to come play the Niners, be sure to bring your hard hat and your lunch pail. Well, the Cowboys, we're not like that, right? But we got, if you pull up that list again, we got finesse, and then we just got one guy just sitting out there as it relates to Hunter as the power guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's finesse, and then power. So we will see how this will all work out, and then we went with 3 tight ends, right? So hopefully Hunter and Schoonmaker can be out there on the field at the same time, and there could be some packages even with Hunter, Schoonmaker, and Tony Pollard. That's your converted 12 personnel, believe it or not. Or it can be just like this, snap back into what? A 20 personnel, or 21 personnel. So that's what Hunter brings to the table, the nuances that he brings, the ability to catch out of the backfield, to run in between the splits. We saw him line up out wide in the preseason game. So there's no limitations to his game. He may not do it at the highest level, but we've seen that brother literally at a fullback spot do everything.
No, with great analysis, Law. Y'all clap it up for Law. Shoot.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Hold on, we gotta clap it up, man. That's all right. Now let's take just one final look at a couple of more things at this roster list from Blogging and the Boys. Wide receiver. Jalen Brooks over Dennis Houston is kind of surprising to me.
How so?
Because Dennis Houston ran a 4.3. Dennis Houston only had one drop, and that was the final preseason game, and that's where I'm talking about through the whole camp, the entire camp. You know, Will Greer was going at him a lot. Now, the only thing I could say is Jalen Brooks was popping at practice, and Jalen Brooks is known to be a special teams god. Okay, so from that standpoint, Jalen Brooks makes sense. But to me, just to me, I felt a little bit more comfortable with what I saw under the lights from Dennis Houston. But that's also the bottom of the receiver pack. Maybe that's not nothing to fight about too much. But when I look at this 53, I will say I see a trend. I see a trend of sticking with the draft guys, you know, the drafted guys. You know, I don't think this is a pure competition 53. I think it's a combination of philosophy built into it. Like, we're going to go with our draft picks more than our undrafted free agents and stuff like that versus who just outright won. Like, for instance, Alex is out of here. You know, I don't feel comfortable with Matt Waletzko. I don't. 2 bad shoulders on IR again. Most teams would be like, I'm done with you. But he was a drafted guy, you know, versus Alex was not. So now the bottom of the roster, you know, you got people like Matt Waletzko that's going to still be hanging around, and other people that I felt like was probably more deserving is gone. But that's the life of the league. But that's just my thoughts on it, on answering your question between Jalen Brooks and Dennis Houston. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, Dennis Houston, you know, he started last year, you know, had a good camp last year, kind of came out of nowhere as an undrafted guy. But I'll tell y'all this, man, Jalen Brooks was stacking days once again. Like, he was looking, you know, and maybe he didn't look as good with Will Greer, but he looked damn good with Dak Prescott. And we've seen him go against the ones and Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore make numerous catches. And so I felt like Jalen Brooks was a lock. The only competition I thought may have been is if they were going to try to maybe force Simi still in there. But Jalen Brooks, man, he had an outstanding camp. Like, he was just every day, once again, Monday through Friday, putting great days together, and he made a lot of big plays out there. So I knew that they would probably keep Jalen Brooks. And when I did the video breakdown on him, and I think he when he called into the draft show with Aisha and Brian Broaddus, he said that he prides himself on special teams. Like, that's the thing that he loves to do, y'all. So it's like, when I heard that, I was like, okay, he's a lock. Prides himself on special teams, making big plays at camp. Mike McCarthy speaking really highly about him. Dak Prescott is using him as a, you know, a target constantly. I feel like Jalen Brooks was a lock, but I think Dennis Houston, he'll be back on the team and practice squad.
Yeah.
And also another guy, you know, I liked a lot, but just didn't get the opportunity was Jalen Marino-Cropper out of Fresno State, who we cut today as well. I think he'll be a guy that the Cowboys will bring back on practice squad as well. It's kind of a solid slot guy that can do a lot of different things. And he got out to a hot start at camp, but it just didn't continue as things progressed. So, you know, overall with the wide receiver core, I'm good. I like that they kind of kept it thin. And I think they got a lot of wide receivers that can do a lot of different things. That's what I'm excited to see, you know, once the season starts, how they utilizing, you know, Kevontae Turpin and CD and, you know, Michael Gallup in the slot and all these different things.
Real quick, there is no way I should have more likes than Law.
Man, what's going on?
That's impossible. Look, I got 314 likes. She said you only got 292 likes over there. Man, Law had way too many people watching live. I'm gonna just tell y'all, the people that's on Law channel right now.
All I ask.
Hit that like button.
Let me see. Let me see if I got a button for y'all. Let me see. I got a button. Oh, I like that button. You had me rolling with that button.
Oh my gosh, man. Hey, wait a minute.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to do better. Now y'all doing
Hey, she's sniping him too. Anna over there sniping. Oh, y'all
that's wrong, like, man. That's wrong. Yeah. 292 likes. Oh my God, as big man. As Launcher. Nah. Get y'all likes up there. Come on now. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say that real quick. But yeah, man, the 53, man, this is the championship roster though. This is the roster that's gonna win it all. This is it.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like that. Getting to our final words, it's a couple of things I just want to say real quick. First of all, shout out to front office.
Yeah.
This is y'all best year in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of front office. For the most part, they've been mostly quiet, right? They've been stacking competition across the board. Trey Lance got everybody attention, but they keep going and getting former first.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, they are aggressively building the roster their way. So, like, I really, really feel like the Dallas Cowboys are more than ever ready to try to win it out. I think this is the best that I've ever seen them work, ever. They've even, in my opinion, addressed kicker for the most part, in my opinion. One of my Quinn say he sent a like on both channels. I appreciate that. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. You got to do that. It's a little bit of extra work, but it's worth it because then it helps all of it get pushed to the top. Another thing I said, and I'm just thinking out loud. I said I wasn't gonna write no more books. I might keep writing these books, man. I'm serious.
You keep writing the books, man.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work, y'all. Trust me, I lose money writing these books. I ain't at the point to where but going back knowing I had a place to cross-reference,
Right.
and get caught up on my original thoughts on the player to move forward was valuable to me. And it was my own work. I ain't have to go look at Dane Bugler or this person or that person,
Right.
Scout so-and-so or, a book that I bought from somebody else. This was a way for me to look at my own thoughts, So I didn't want to do it because I want to switch all my content to video format. But I'm thinking about it. Y'all let me know, man, if that's something I should do. But right now, I'm thinking about doing it again. Because it's also validation, too. Because, Tuck, you saw that. People was in there trying to call us out. Why y'all overhype it? It ain't nothing more receipt than a book. It is nothing more receipt-ish than, nah, bro, this is what I said 3 years ago. You know what I mean? It's so, and I think with the way that we're all moving together, it's also a credibility thing. The way that J Tuck is growing, the way Law is growing, the way Vach, I talked to him the other day, the way he growing, the way DMV, the way so many of us is growing, we need to be able to show sometime that we put in the work, But that's my final words, man. First, I'm happy for the season. But two, I'm considering continuing that process, even though I thought I was done. That's my final word.
Yeah, and to echo what you said, boss, this is why I kind of called the audible today is because, whenever I talk to you, Law, Big Game, Vach, Skywalker, the list goes on and on. I know whenever you guys have an opinion, you've done the work, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm asking is, for you guys, the viewers who watch and really support what we do in this new media wave, is trust that we not just saying things just for shock value. I'm not just saying Trey Lance can compete at the NFL level because I just want to be, for shock value today.
Right.
No, I said this because one, I felt it going back in the draft. And then two, I literally did a film breakdown showing you how we transitioned from college to what we're seeing today. So, that's all I ask, because here's the thing, right? We didn't even talk about a player today. And this was a player I did a film session on, and there was comments. Why are you talking about him, Tuck? He's not going to make the roster. He's not going to make the roster, right? And that's TJ Bass.
Right.
TJ Bass out of Oregon has stepped in as an undrafted free agent to being with the starters as a right guard. If for those of you who follow the Final Word draft show, right, when we did the linebackers, a guy I talked about, Ivan Pace Jr. Now, everyone kind of said, Tuck, what are you talking about? He's too small. He's too small. He's too tiny. Go see what's happening right now with the Minnesota Vikings. He was an undrafted free agent Now he's the starting green dot middle linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. So, all I ask is that y'all know us by now. I'm in year 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm still kind of a newbie, I mean, y'all know that we put in the work.
Right.
We're not saying that we're always right? Definitely check our homework, but we're never going to just sell y'all on a pipe dream or talk about a player and just kind of hype you up and sell you Kool-Aid. When Boss is talking about Noah, he has the receipts to show. Whenever we talk about a player, we have the receipts to show. I could show you where I had Kelvin Joseph as my 44th overall player in that draft. And where did we draft him at 44, right? It's all documented. You know what I'm saying? I don't delete tweets. Boss don't delete books. Law don't delete videos. Like, it's all public information. So respect the work that we do. But listen, y'all, a lot of the work has been done. I'm excited about this team that the Cowboys have built. Get behind your team, support your team, and be confident in your team. I know y'all going to get trolled, whatever, right? Don't let other teams and other fan bases dictate how you feel about your team. It's okay to be confident. Giants fans right now, they're confident week 1, right? There's Browns fans confident. Like, everyone can be confident, support your team, rally for your team, represent your team to the fullest. And that's what we're all about, Cowboys Nation. Let's go get this 6th ring. That's my final word.
And before you go, Law, my boy said nobody's seen anything from Lance. I do want to let y'all know it is actual film out there that you can go watch.
50,000 people have seen it on my channel. I just dropped it on Monday.
Yeah, it's film on him, bro, to where you can go look with your own eyes.
Right.
And go check out. Yeah, 50,000 people just watched Jay Tuck film on him. Go look at it. And then go watch the games. And then when you watch the games, also look at who he playing with. Consider that. Right. Look at that protection. Look at who he throwing to. And look at how he's engineering the drives. And if you don't see franchise quarterback, I don't really think you have good eyes. I'm going to be honest.
And for you to say nobody's seen anything from Lance, that means that the Dallas Cowboys ain't seen anything from Lance, the Buffalo Bills ain't seen anything, the Atlanta Falcons, the Baltimore Ravens, the Minnesota Vikings. So all them teams, they saw nothing from Lance. So everybody's just kind of just, pursuing this kid just off of a whim, right?
No.
Y'all have to cut that. Yeah, y'all have to cut that out because we're not selling y'all pipe. Trust me, if Trey Lance was trash, I would tell y'all. I'm like, nah, you ain't got it.
I would.
When have we ever hesitated to say that with any player?
Right.
That's just not how I feel, and I provide the evidence to show y'all that's why I don't feel that way. So, once again, it's just y'all should know. Y'all know how we do here in the final word. We're not going to sell y'all no pipe dreams. Anytime we say something, we have merit, we have research, we have facts for our thoughts, right?
There it is.
Well, no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, and we back with this again. I just wanted to say shout out to Big Dex, shout out to T. Richburg, B. Bird, Armstrong, James Brown, Chris Brovins, Coach Marv, Will Park, and as well as you again, Coach Marv, for the super chats. We really appreciate you guys. But overall, collectively, we can't be selective with when we like to praise Will McClay and not like to praise Will McClay. Evidently, Will McClay saw this tape, saw the same thing that my guy Jay Tuck saw, and Boss Cowboy saw, and the OC saw on Trey Lance. If y'all believe that only Jerry Jones saw the tape, now come on, something wrong with you. So we got to understand that Will McClay, Chris Hall, and all of those boys, they went and reviewed the tape, and they said that, hey, this dude can be a star down the line. And on top of that, Noah, when they looked at the tape, they had to see something. Now, it could have been a favor for, dare I say, Kelvin Joseph to have a breath of fresh air. We've seen Al Harris talk glowingly of him. And on top of that, Johnny Bones Fossil talk glowingly of Kelvin Joseph. And they could have just been saying, you know what, we just don't want to cut you. That's going to tarnish your name. We drafted you in the second round. We made some things for you to get things going. But I'm going to say this, though. Collectively looking at this team, We are far better than what we were last year. And if you add this team together and what we're going to do, yes, Will Parker, I believe, Will Parks, I believe that this offensive line will be able to stand tall and allow Dak Prescott to use the weapons that is necessary for him. That was in his super chat, by the way. Cowboy Nation, we are good. We're heading in the right direction one way or another. DC for life now for sure. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I just wanna run it up. Count a check or something. I've been really in the field.
All right, we got one more question from Miss Jackie.
Miss Jackie.
She said, why did they release him from the 49ers? In a nutshell, I think they trying to protect the psyche of their first string quarterback. So
because there was a split amongst the fan base, because a lot of the fans were like, we want to go back to Trey Lance, right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of that split. So to just eliminate that, right? Because like I said, the head coach didn't want the kid. Let's just move on from him and get him out of the house. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to get too loud where, let's say, for instance, Brock Purdy was to slide a little bit, what are 49er fans going to be doing? They're going to be calling for Trey Lance. So,
right.
Like, watch the 49ers fans, they'll tell you the truth. Like, they're all in the video saying, man, we messed up. We messed up. Like, we shouldn't have gave them, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have gave them to y'all, because what if, right? And think about this, Cowboys Nation. If you don't even like Trey Lance, think of it from the strength of we got someone who's going to know the 49ers playbook in and out. And also, we took away one of their assets. So if Brock Purdy doesn't work out, they really got to follow on Sam Darnold. So good luck with that. So it's going to be all good. For a 4th round pick, we came out on top, Cowboys Nation.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.